Because I was working with Heritage, there weren't any challenges that were avoided. We still have our challenges, but there were pitfalls that we avoided. I didn't waste a lot of time going down a dead end because of their knowledge and experience.
Probably the greatest value that Heritage brought was to when we got down to the real serious buyers. It turned out that the most serious was from my two key employees, and it was something that I hadn't contemplated. One, they didn't have the funds to do it, to make the transaction occur, and I really didn't think they were interested. And we had gone a long way down the road to selling the business, and here they show up, and they're really the best people to buy it. So the fact that I was working with KC and we had a good relationship, it really enabled KC to negotiate with my key employees to make the transaction occur. I think without him it would not have happened. And had I tried to sell it myself to the employees, we would have never gotten the deal done.
The whole idea of using a company or a firm like Heritage to walk you through or ease a transaction or to broker a transaction are the same reasons that you would use your CPA to prepare your taxes every year. You know, just because you signed the bottom return last year doesn't mean you have the in-depth knowledge. The principals here are engaged in transactions on a daily basis, and consequently, I don't understand why anyone wouldn't avail themselves of the level of expertise that exists here to help them manage a purchase or a sales transaction.
They knew the players out there already. They knew, even before we started, I think they had some ideas of, maybe that company would be interested in Drumac, or, and I know that they represent buyers. So, I felt like I didn't come into this cold with them. They had some ideas even before we started, so that definitely comes from years of experience and knowledge of, this middle market.
Having done the transaction without an intermediary before, I learned a lot from Heritage. It was meticulous, it was well thought out, it was a lot of hard work, it was a lot of work behind the scenes with Doug Kravitz and his team. But they were able to, we always feel like we're running our financials are all in order and everything's pretty clear, but they brought a level of sophistication to the deal that allowed us to present much more professionally when we did go to market.
Timing is a huge, huge issue, because you gotta look at the market and realize that, in a weak market, you might be looking at selling a business for 3 to 5 times earnings, whereas in a strong market, you're looking at 6 to 8 times earnings. And I mean, just do the math. You got a little business that makes $1 million a year, and I mean, do you want to sell it 5 times earnings or 6 times earnings? I mean, it's a big difference, and that's why timing is critical. And I think the other thing that's critical that helps buyers get the valuation that they're looking for, and again, you need somebody like Don to make this happen though, is having more than one buyer looking at your business. Because unless they know that there's another buyer at the table and it's a real buyer, they're not going to just roll over. And that goes back to the private equity guys are smart and they know what they're doing.
We spoke to several people in the community, and the name that always kept coming up was Heritage Capital Group and Don Wiggins. And I spoke to people throughout the community that I truly trusted, and I've been in this community for a long time, so these are powerful people that know the business, and they recommended we meet with Don.
Well, one of the things that became apparent very early on in the process, that investment bankers are indeed experts in whatever the field or the space that the business that they're trying to convince to select them as their banker. They're all experts in that. And ironically for us, we found that to be artificial and pretentious. And what we liked about Heritage is they did not do that. They did not pretend to be that we're an expert in the insurance space. They said, this is who we are, we're generalists, this is what we do. And we found that refreshing.